Alright, who do I got here? I see two people. And
Your mom.
gosh darn it, Joe.
You got no importance. That's what you got. You just got those losers like you.
Yes. Wait, you don't imply that I don't embrace my loser heritage?
Now you crash over sleep every night. I know you do.
Oh my goodness. Gosh darn it, Greyshot, you're late again!
Ooh, that's implied you haven't planned to turn up.
True.
I'll just tell them I'm coming in now. Well, save me the effort of dealing with them.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, yeah, Birdman, just wanted to let you know that the thing was updated, the combatant statistics, so if you...
I'm looking at that now.
I swear to gosh, if I have to add any more, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm just kidding.
Probably do. No, you and Arbok, you probably do. Yes, I can hear your pain. It delights me.
I know it does. I just need to. I wanted to ask you this a bit ago. I remember there was one episode of the original Ultraman where I know Ultraman uses telekinesis or something to lift up the second Red King and uses his.
Yeah, he uses that ability a couple of times. Yes.
Yeah. Which one is that? Is that the Ultra Air Catch or the Ultra Discernment from Eyes?
Yeah, it's Ultra Air Catch. It's technically two versions. He's using it on Red King and that bug one just before his Zeton episode. He uses two variations. It's the same technique basically.
Okay, gotcha. That was all I really needed to know was the Red King 2 one. It was
Yeah.
Yeah, I just needed to make sure it's because so many of them, it's Ultra. It's which one's which? Oh, hey, it's Greyshot.
Oh no, he actually turned up.
Shot?
Of course I did.
Yeah, I let him know 50 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And it's actually 3 o'clock on the spot, so anything we say about
3:01 actually.
You're a minute late!
How dare
Ban
I?
him!
Alright. So, Alex isn't going to be able to join us today because he's doing stuff with friends, so...
They
Nerd.
could join.
Ew, he has friends outside of us. How disappointing.
I know.
They can all join.
It's like he doesn't like us or anything.
I know! Oh, man. Anyway, let's get this sucker rolling. We got enough people. 4 of us, that's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, hello everyone and welcome to this month's KWCC. I am your host KaijuX, and with me will be Greyshot, Birdman, the ultimate Pokemon, and Joe.
Yay.
And first up in the order, why did I close that out? Gosh darn it. We're going over matches 270, 271, and the most recent KWC Animated. Woohoo! Bringing first one for
People still watch those?
The first great one.
I would disagree with that, but it was really, really good.
But that's it. Let's jump right into match 270, which I'll just simplify as Baggin versus Team Exilians. Written by our very own Joe right over here with the banner made by our very own Greyshot here.
Woohoo.
Make
Hello.
it as you may. So, with that said, we'll start from the top and say, Greyshot, what'd you think of it? How did you think of it?
Give it to me straight.
For Team
Greyshot.
Exilians, I thought it was pretty good. I think my favorite part was the surprise with Zilla coming back. But I was like, oh, he just dies. It's literally copying the same thing. It's like, no, you did a little twist on it. So I actually I found that very enjoyable. Otherwise, I do kind of feel that the battle throughout was pretty good. The only exception being the final confrontation, as
Yeah.
it's not that it's bad. It's just kind of one-sided after a relatively interesting fight dynamic. Megan also had some pretty good character to this as well, but yeah, I was really kind of hoping for I was really kind of hoping to see a little bit closer, and it just didn't really turn out. It was just like Kaiser Ghidorah shows up, and it's an absolute destruction. There's like, oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, I can kind of look back on it now and kind of agree with that. It's like, yeah, a lot of the fight's really good. I will have to say, I wish that the me that edited this was as good as I am now. I wish, because apparently from all the lovely comments that are down here, I apparently must have missed something. So that it's entirely
you
my
missed
beat.
quite a bit.
Wait, what'd you miss?
Just a lot of the grammar stuff, but apparently you missed it too, Greyshot, if you looked it over.
Yeah, I did.
And I also missed it being the writer.
To be fair, wait, and how so, if I may ask? What?
I'm honestly
It swaps. Like it
tensing.
swaps.
Oh, swaps
tenses.
tensing. Oh, yeah.
I think it's mostly tensing. When they say grammar, I'm more than confident probably referring to tensing.
Yeah.
So
I noticed that's a lot of people's hardest issue. Honestly, for me, it's just changing. For me, I can usually get the tensing, but I usually just keep repeating the same words.
Yeah.
Because I always try to avoid. If you ever notice in my for my matches, I always try to avoid the words like was. I don't like the word was and like all of its connotations, so I try to avoid it to the best of my ability. But yeah, no, it's a just something that again, we all have our little issues and whatnot. And to be fair, it's not not like the worst. I think we'll discuss something a little bit later in regards to the style, especially for the next match. But yeah, for this one, it's still very good, and I think it's still worthy of a 270. Plus, I will say my favorite part of this was making the banner. Fun fact, Hedorah. Awesome. Yeah, fun fact, Hedorah actually was where Zilla was until I realized, oh wait, Hedorah's not in this match. Joe has failed us. This is not the full team.
Oh gosh darn it.
But it did actually allow me to put Zilla in the front, and yeah, I think he looks pretty badass there, actually.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he looks cool for being Zilla.
Right. I kind of wish, yeah, well, like, that's my only nitpick. It's like, if you wanted to go I kind of wish that it was like, if you wanted to go the full thing, do the full thing, but at the same time, it would have been a loss for Hedorah anyway, so it's like, alright, I'll take it. But yeah, it was like, yeah, this is really nice to have just so much at once. Like, it's nice to have another, like, Baggin versus match, and another one where, spoiler alert, where, like, Monster X Kaiser Ghidorah wins. Granted, it's like, the fact that it was such a one-sided beatdown once Kaiser Ghidorah showed up was a little... I kind of wish, looking at it now, that I was like, with Greyshot, like, the two should have been of even playing field.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Monster X is going all out, Baggin's gonna go all out, like, this is it. Like, and it should be really suspenseful even fight until Kaiser Ghidorah turns out on top. So, it's not him winning that I have issue with, it's how he won that I have issue with.
I think something I should have done, and like when I wrote this match 190, I think it was brand new.
Yes.
And I thought about including Bagan's new powers.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know why, but I just didn't end up doing that.
Yeah.
And I think I should have saved all of them for the Kaiser Ghidorah fight.
I mean, you don't have, like, those are optional powers. You don't need to use all of them. Like, if you want to be more faithful to what was Baggin before the 2017 update, that's more than fine. That is perfectly fine in my book. So, so yeah, it's like, this was obvious. Yeah, this was a match that was a good, solid, at least 2 years, if not a little more.
Yeah.
So, it shows how effective we are at getting these things out anyway. But yeah. Other than that, like, I do remember having to... I still do remember editing this a bit, so... Yeah, that's why I put the blame on myself for the missing, grammar stuff. But Like it is still like a solid foundation for this. Like the actual fight and whatnot is a solid foundation. It has a lot of good stuff, pretty much up near the end. But even that's still, it's still decent, but it's still just turns too one-sided compared to everything else that came before, which was very clever with how it handled the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So, anywho, Birdman, what do you think of it?
I really sort of summed up my thoughts in the comments as well, but for those who haven't read, I thought it was a very, well, not good, but it was a very interesting match. It was full of lots of twists and turns. I really saw where the plot was going at times. At the beginning, I did think it was just going to be like every Grace in the final was with Bagan with the first bit of Zilla, but as time went on, it did prove itself to be distinct from that original idea until and the idea who was going to win kept twisting and turning. One may have be Bagan, one felt like a team, then Bagan again, and finally did tonight be Monster actually was victorious.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's something like that who can make me really doubt who will win is, in my opinion, a good match. But they know what they're doing. They know how to subvert expectations.
Yeah, Birdman, I think you'll like my matches then, because I like doing that.
Oh, so I hope you can keep with that promise then.
That's a pretty big promise. But yeah, and Joe, I guess outside of what you've said already, do you have any additional insight or things you want to say about the match, or maybe things you would change or improve upon the match now looking at it, or?
Oh, I didn't read it.
So it is like Kaiju X in 211.
I didn't read it. That's hilarious. But no, I guess anything else you want to say concerning your match, even though you didn't read it or see any changes, anything else you want to add?
Well, I want to say this was a pretty early match, but I enjoyed writing it. It's probably my most proudest match of mine, because it's such a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Undoubtedly my longest, if you exclude the Shrek match. I will say I liked including this one reference in there, and it's kind of a double reference. It was Kamakuru's death. I don't know why, but I decided to make it a reference to Mothra's death in GMK.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
And it's also while writing it, I remembered that one picture or sketch of a I think it was a storyboard of Mothra versus Bagan, where she's getting her wing blasted by Bagan.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
And I thought that was cool. Writing that.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Alright. And Nagoda has joined the chat. Say hello, Nagoda.
Hello.
Okay, he said hello.
I didn't get any Discord notifications, so kinda
I
realized I was 13 minutes late.
It's not too bad. We're still on the first match, so we are going over 270. Nagoda, I guess real quick now that you're here, what'd you think of it?
And yeah, don't worry, you didn't pull a Greyshot this time.
It's pretty good. I like how every monster has their part, and how you faked Zilla's death in the start. How he ran forward, looked like he was instantly killed, and it shows up later.
I did think of making that permanent, by the way.
No, I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you didn't go with that and decided to keep Zilla alive, because that was a really nice little thread. That was a nice little spin. So, and I think as you guys may or may not see immediately in the banner in front of you, if you're watching the video version, you may see Showa Ebra, Showa King Caesar, and those two up in front. That is because we have recently... I think we might have gone over this in the last KWCC, but we have recently hybridized a couple of the monsters for the sake of ease of banner making, because reality is Final Wars Ebra, Final Wars Manda, and Final Wars King Caesar are really hard to get. I'd even argue Final Wars Kamacuras. Anyway. But yeah, freaking like... Yeah, so it's like we are starting to employ that with future KWCs. It's like, because like it's strictly a cosmetic change, it doesn't change how you write them or their powers at this point. So it's like you could just use either or. It's really not much of an issue. So
it's just kind of easier to imagine them in certain situations. I'd say,
or just
like I'd say it's easier to imagine Showa Ebra with the red bamboo than the Final Wars version.
Yeah. If that's how you want to imagine it, or in situations like this where it's like clearly it's the Final Wars cast, it would objectively make sense to make the Final Wars versions of that. But it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be if the banner artist can't find the right images for them or has already used that image before or whatever. So. So yeah. Good stuff.
Another bit of trivia. I do wish I did Rodan and King Caesar's deaths a little better, because at the time of writing, I was just done with them. So I just thought, just fucking kill them both at once.
Oh wow.
I was tired of Rodan flying around shooting his beam.
Right.
Something I kind of wish I did more was having the monsters interact a bit more. You get a little bit of that, like Anguirus and Rodan, or Gigan and Ebra interacting.
Right. Yeah, it wouldn't have hurt having those additional little moments, but it's also bagging.
I do like near the end when Gigan and Monster X high-fived.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, moments like
another
those.
Another reference to Godzilla vs. Megalon.
Yeah, totally. The friggin' partnership high five thing. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Didn't they high five in Final Wars too?
Not Final Wars. No.
I wish they high-fived in Final Wars.
I know. I wish
they did them.
No,
I must remember things. I'm sure they did.
No, they didn't. They. You were probably thinking of the point where Gigan slashed Monster X's back, but no, they never. I mean, how do you expect Gigan to high five Monster X with giant chainsaw hands?
Make it think more like what they did with Gigan Megalon, where they just kind of like slam their forearms together.
Yeah, but they didn't do that. I've seen Final Wars a million times.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's their high five, I guess.
Well, that's like in the movie. That's like that's like going for a high five, but then you end up slapping their back.
See, Gigan's a friendly fella. He was just high-fiving Godzilla's chest before Godzilla turned around and afraid Gigan high-fived Monster X's back. There you go. So we'll go over the comments real quick.
Oh,
go ahead.
One, like one thing I wanted to do, actually, was at one point I considered splitting this up into 2 matches. This match would have been the Final Wars monsters minus Monster X, and it would have ended when Monster X appeared. And the next match would have been either either Bagan versus Monster X and Gigan, or Bagan versus Monster X round 2.
Right.
I just decided against it.
Right. I'm kind of like, don't get me wrong, I guess it would have been kind of neat at the time, but for what it is now, it's like, I am glad that it's like, because we don't know how soon that follow-up would have came up. Like, would it have been immediate? Would both matches have been sent in at once? I'm just kind of glad it's all streamlined into one big match. So.
I am considering a follow-up.
Yeah, there's room. There's room for a follow-up, so you could have fun with that.
Because another staple of my matches, they don't all end happy.
Nope.
From a certain point of view.
I mean, you literally end it with, like, the Exilians like, hey guys, listen, we did a great job here. You know, we lost all the Earth monsters, but, you know, we still have Monster X, Skies, Ghidorah. Now let's go murder Earth.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's happy for the Exilians.
Yeah, it's happy for them. But, yeah. I think, do we have any more additional thoughts for 270? Oh, crap. That's right. I completely forgot about the comments I wanted to go over. Great.
Oh, yeah.
At the very least, at the very least, like the first comment. So we have one from Birdman right over here, who says, "What a match of twists and turns. Shame about that grammar, but that's my only gripe." And then a reasonable human being says, "The fight's a load of fun. The only real nitpick is the lack of hetera, but nevertheless a lot of fun. Darn shame about some of the grammar oversights. That's my beat." Coleman Van Allen says, "Okay, as interesting as this fight sounds, none of them could possibly beat Bag. As much as I would love Monster X Kaiser Ghidorah to have more wins, as he should have in the past, he could not stand up to Baggin." I disagree. I would have to wholly disagree with that.
I would disagree as well.
At the very least, Kaiser Ghidorah should be more in Baggin's power range, so those two could put up an even fight.
I would say even Monster X, because because the reason bless you. The reason I say that specifically is because Monster X did everyone makes note. Oh, all the final monsters were like super weak and Godzilla was super overpowered. Well, if that's the case, Monster X basically lasted like the longest of any of the combatants against
he lasted more than 2 seconds.
Right. Yeah, Monster X I'd say is comparable to Frieza in the new Dragon Ball Super movie, where it's like dude's powerful, but he got like kind of toasted by freaking like dude's super strong and clearly hold his own, but he got freaking toasted by Broly, you know. Something so, because that's what happens. Like, granted, Monster X has an impressive showing when we were first introduced to him, like, you know, whipping Godzilla's tail, friggin', you know, holding him up suspended in the air, and with a set of gravity beams, that's the first thing to bring Godzilla to his knees. But after that, Godzilla kind of starts wailing on Monster X, like, kind of relentlessly. So, you know, make of that as you will, but it does still show Monster X is a powerhouse. It just so happens Godzilla has is dominant in most of that fight.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like Monster X is by no means a pushover, but at the same time, it was Final Wars Godzilla. It's like that was probably one of the stronger Godzillas we've gotten, or at least Mary Sue Strong depicted Godzillas. But hey, whatever. But to continue down the comments, Delkin Coughlin says, "I'm glad all the monsters actually did a good amount during the fight. It wasn't like the previous fights where it's like, Eberus, never mind, he's dead."
Yeah, I saved that for Manda.
Yeah, totally, though, I agree. Billy Techman says, "About time my Skelly boy won one." That's good. And then Vincent Hansen...
He does deserve it.
And then Vincent, I'm just calling him that, said a bit over the top, trying a bit too hard to be a typical KWC match, but the vocabulary seems so wasted when the grammar is so poor. Is this boy? But friggin', I wouldn't say this is your...
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely faults on the definitely on the tensing front. But I don't think it was trying too hard. I think it subverted the right amount of, I think it did enough, right subversion to where it's more distinct than Vincent's giving it credit for. But that's just me.
And I don't think I made it over the top enough. This is Final Wars after all.
True. Very, very true. Where's the human kung fu? That takes up most of the match.
Bagan should have done kung fu.
X just starts doing backflips watching, just he's so excited or something.
No, Baggins starts doing backflips anymore.
Baggin flips.
Hey. With that said, let's carry on over. I think we've been on here long enough. Let's carry on over to the next KWC match in our lineup. Match 271. Mechagodzilla Showa and Mogera Heisei versus Zone Fighter. Written by Christian Zatkov and banner from Nagoda over here.
Did you say Nagoda?
Nagoda. That's what I said.
I mean, I'm disappointed. I prefer Nagodo, but okay. No, I will say, so first off, I think we'll just admit the elephant in the room, or in this case, Zone Fighter's position. So originally I'm sure Kaiju X is going to put this in.
I am.
Nagoda had a bit more of a, how do I say this, unflattering angle for everyone's
favorite. It was very flattering.
Sure. That you could argue that, maybe, not. But no, yeah, you could clearly see that Zone Fighter was wearing extra tight pants that day. So, to counterpoint that, we had to do a quick fix. So if you're wondering why Zone Fighter's butt looks a bit blurry and a little off, that's because there used to be a very prominent crack there.
You're just censoring Zone Fighter. Censorship in my KWC more likely than you think.
Listen, I think it was for the right cause. Let me just say.
we let Monster X's ass in.
I think there was someone else we had friggin' a distinct butt thing. To be fair, Monster X at least had his tail covering up, whereas here it's just completely raw. The quote from the Area 51 raid, clap them cheeks. Gosh darn it. He's an alien too, so it works. But I want to go first.
Zone Fighter's looking like a snack.
Oh, jeez. But I wanted to go off first and say I really liked this match. I really enjoyed I really enjoyed its premise. I really enjoyed the setting. And, I noticed there was something a little suspicious with Mechagodzilla and Mogera teaming up. So it's what direction is this going to go? And I think, it's there are a little bit of hints here and there, and there's obviously Nagoda's banner, which kind of alludes to this with the green barrier. And it's wait, are they, are they in the video game? And yeah, that was the case. Zone Fighter was training in the video game. It's that's really cool.
He got an addiction.
yeah. But yeah, freaking, that is such a cool way to set that up. It's using Zone Fighter's Astro Dash to hop into the TV and basically be in the video game. Because it's you don't really, that ability is so bizarre. Because it was in the show, it's just used for teleportation. Okay, I'm here, I'm there, don't ask how.
Oh, I just thought of a weird idea.
What is it?
Go on, we must all know it now.
Since through this match he can go into games, what if you send him into a movie and then he loses his memory? So he doesn't realize he's in a movie.
Right. Huh. That always reminds me of what was it called? Last Action Hero, I think.
Oh yeah.
Where like the kid goes.
What
into
if we
the
head
movie.
into a hentai game?
Oh gosh! Oh no!
Oh no.
Yeah, that it's called.
Then you'll use that ass.
Oh no! Anyway.
Nope. I adamantly refuse. But no, that was actually so. Yeah, this actually was a match that I originally had back when Titano gave me all like his like list of matches.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was part of that grouping. So it's been for a while. I've been meaning to post it, but I've been just kind of waiting. And then I figured this actually was pretty good time to do so. And I think it left a good impression. I will say that. I had to do a bit of updating because it was clearly an older match, but I think it was I think the story and the action and even Zone Fighter's like development work out in the end. The only thing I don't think that works out is Mechagodzilla's like whole AI thing, which he also had in the Mechagodzilla Showa versus Rodan Mothra Godzilla.
One. Yeah.
It had the same idea. I think it was better executed in that one just because he was by himself and it was like, why, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, in this one it was just kind of like, I'm sorry, what? Why? Just like, why does he need this? Like, so I think it was a little off-putting. Excluding that though, I think everything else turned out pretty well for this match.
Right. Yeah, totally. And I think those, like, the changes you made have probably helped benefited this match a lot better than the original version, which, I feel you there. But
yeah, the inner dialogue, which is like the inner dialogue that Hikaru has throughout the match, the even more the banter with his sister, I kind of spruced up a wee bit. And yeah, I thought it was because originally it just ended with her coming in and being like, "Oh, monster, I need to go." But I thought them having a little bit of chemistry and like going back and forth in regards to like a sibling rivalry kind of way felt very much more like the character. And why the character very much was very immature in regards to like, not taking anything seriously, but then finally taking the fight seriously and almost coming out on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that immaturity kind of playing back when like his guard is down, he's with his sister, kind of rising back up. I thought it meshed up a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Definitely helped tremendously. It really helped. It really helped sell the idea of the match a lot better. So, yeah. You have any additional thoughts, Greyshot, or?
I don't know. Overall, good banner by Nagoda. I do like the green barrier he put down in the background to kind of give it. Again, there's a lot of nice little hints throughout this match of what's actually going on, and I think the banner also kind of sells like, hey, wait, something's a little off. What's with the barrier? Why are these two fighting against Zone Fighter? It's a little strange.
Right. But then by the end, it makes perfect sense without revealing everything or making it immediately obvious. So, or why Zone Fighter, or even if they did figure out the whole video game thing, it's like, how in the world, it's like why is Zone Fighter in the video game? Is he a fictional character? Or then it's like, his hopping into TV ability. That's, again, just a lot of really creative elements that all add up. So. We'll go down. Nagoda, what'd you think of the match?
It was pretty fun. I didn't really expect it to be like that. Even though I made the banner for Greyshot, I didn't really expect it to be full-on video game. I just thought it'd be, someone set up a barrier. Also, fun fact, the day before the match came out was the day I gave Greyshot the banner.
The old banner, I'd imagine.
No, yeah, the old one. But because actually I thought I had a match, but I realized after I spoke to Kaiju X what happened and where that was. But I was like, I could have sworn I had a match ready for this. And I was looking and I couldn't find it. So I was like, well, I need to get banners done. So I sent one to you and another person. I was like, well, the first one that gets back to me is the match that's going to go up. You were the first one back. Therefore, your match went up.
Oh my goodness. So.
Yeah, some surprise insight from behind.
Behind the scenes, yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Yeah, did you have anything else to say, Nagoda, or?
Oh yeah, another thing I'd like to point out. I'm not. I guess I'm not the only one who thought of using Zone Fighter's anti-meteor missile bracelets to send Mechagodzilla's missiles back at him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think he does the same thing to Chikiro, if I remember right.
Yeah, because that is an ability of his. He can send missiles back.
Right. And that was really good stuff. Really enjoyable.
I'm just gonna come in here and say this right now. He did originally have that, and it is a cool fact or a cool thing to use. But he also used it with. I did have to make a few changes in some of the areas. For instance, he originally had it used where Mogera fired his spiral grenades, and he redirected it back. I'm like, hold up. Whoa. So a missile the size of like the length of Megara's head is going to be redirected in a tiny little bracelet.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remove that. So I just removed it and just had the Mechagodzilla missiles.
The finger missiles make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the finger missiles make total sense. Right. It's like relatively the same size. It's like, okay, I got this.
I could even buy the Mogera's eye laser cannons. I could see those being bounced back. They're a little on the bigger side, but I think there's.
They're not missiles. They're that's lasers.
Well, you could still suck them in and then bounce them back.
Yeah, but great Kaiju, it's anti-missile mine, not anti-laser mine.
Yeah.
I guess I
or
haven't...
anti-marmite for that reason.
Okay, fair enough. It's in the name. All right. 0 out of 10 doesn't know enough about Zone Fighter. Anyway. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think Nagoda said what he's probably need to say. Birdman, what'd you think of the match?
Yeah, I'll have to comment on this one like the one before, but I'll say again for people who haven't read, I thought this was an interesting match, even if it would just have its flaws, especially with the grammar and the whole Mechagodzilla having an AI extension for no reason that's actually explained in the match. And it is a good concept that I know with people who talked about on the forums time and time again about doing a match where some battle enters the video game fights inside there. And it's nice to know that someone actually did get around to doing it at some point, and they've done it exceptionally well. I know something I noticed with what is it? I've got Living Corpse. That's his real on the forums.
His form name was.
Yep.
Yeah. He has. I think he has got. Like with me and Ultraman and Greyshot with the Heat team, I think his own fighting is his go-to character for matches. When he does that, he does it exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Love a Zone Fighter pulls through with him. So W Fighter anyway. Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm.
Actually, on a side note, he was actually the one when I first even did a Zone Fighter match. He was the one I spoke to in regards to how it should be, what's his powers, what's his like different abilities. I sat down with or not maybe sat down, but like I inquired a lot with him in regards to how it should be executed, what are the different things that should be done. So yeah, he actually sent me like a full list and everything on the forums. This was years and years and years ago, but he was a massive.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that said, let's see. Yeah. Do you have anything else to add on, Birdman, or do you think that about?
I know that was it.
Okay, that was it. All right. Joe, what did you think of the match? Assuming that you read it.
I didn't read it.
I figured.
Me he doesn't read his own matches. Did you expect him to read another one?
Yeah, right. Gosh darn it, Birdman. You're putting words into someone's mouth, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway.
I think that's the only thing playing in his mouth.
But yeah, no, I think we're looking. So we'll hop down to the comments real quick. Birdman says, finally, a match that makes use of Zone Fighter's TV teleportation power. Many talks doing a story like this, it's nice to at least see the concept realized. I agree. And I also said, this is a very unique and unorthodox match, very much enjoyed it. Delcon returns and says, I was hoping for a match that finally uses Zone's TV teleportation ability, and lo and behold, this is the match. And then Vincent once again comments how the grammar is unbearable. Bro, might have to message ya. I want to know your secrets. What counts as unbearable grammar? Granted, I can't blame myself for this one. This was one that Greyshot helmed, so we point at him for for all the missing grammar.
Oh no, yeah. Oh no, yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, definitely look at me at some places. Like, I definitely overthink, but I think the whole point is, as long as you get like 90%.
Yeah,
that's...
we're not looking for absolute perfection. Of course, I mean, I don't think you can. I mean, heck, even the 24, like, to my understanding, the Godzilla 2014 novelization has a lot of grammar issues, believe it or not. So it's like, yeah, even the professional industry, these mistakes still fly by. But, like, as long as it's competent enough, and as long as you have an idea of what's going on, it should be alright. But yeah, it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad they're being pointed out. I just wish you could elaborate what we're doing wrong so we can make amends for that. Because, yeah, if you could point out, like, detail what we're doing wrong, tensing-wise, or grammar-wise, or whatever, then please lay out the thoughts so we can give them a read, and we can make a better job at making the stuff higher quality. So yeah, input is important, people. Do not feel hesitant to, like, don't hesitate to, don't feel hesitant. Just let us know. Anyway, with that said, I think we covered our bases for 271. Am I right?
Yeah, I think we covered mostly everything. I don't have any other side. Like, again, it was an early match. Yeah, I think we got everything. Oh yeah, Mechagodzilla Show getting the win. A nice, it was a nice little turncoat moment, because you think Zone Fighter's going to have this redemption moment, and he still loses. But I think that also is a nice segue into the ending, with, like, him showing up in real life.
Uh-huh.
And, like, there are no continues. Like, they're nice little taglines and
That's
such.
something I get. Why was the Atari games in the universe where Kaiju attacks actually happened? Doesn't that seem kind of a bit...
Have you seen Pacific Rim? They had monsters, on the TV, okay? Things happen.
Right. It's probably just to like segue to the idea that's like, okay, Zone Fighter's gonna come in, he's gonna fight Mechagodzilla for real, and that'll be a teaser for another time, if at all. But yeah, I think we covered our bases concerning 271, and we'll be migrating over to the most recent KWC match, which is a little different and something we haven't had in a long time. KWC Animated. Woohoo! So this one's an actual full-fledged video, which I'll only have the title card for up here. I don't want getting flagged, dang it. I'm just kidding. No. This one comes courtesy of Thomas Fairchild, and yeah, I really enjoyed the video. I think it has some very solid production value. I think this was a very fun match between two monsters, one of which we haven't seen in forever. So I'm really happy to see Legion back in action. Yeah, you just have a lot going on. It's a very fun match that makes decent use out of their abilities. So. I'm very hard to find words that really sum up any kind of negative thoughts. I'm sure Greyshot, from what from what he's posted before on our Discord chat, may or may not
I think
have
I can think of a few.
Right, I'm sure
He didn't use orbs.
How can you use orbs? They're always there. But no,
just have an arrow that points to their eyes and say these are orbs.
Gosh darn it. But no, I think this is a really fun, it's probably because it's like the first KWC animated we've had in forever, but this is a really fun, enjoyable romp between two big old monsters and just them really having at it. And the ending tease is fun as well. So it's also a hint of what may or may not be soon to come. So
I would definitely agree with that, and I hope Tom does more of these, because it was, again, I actually gave him a detailed description, and my basic thoughts were some of the shots were very unique. Zone Fighter, or not Zone Fighter, Legion coming out of the atmosphere, Godzilla rising, there were a lot of the Beam versus Swarm. There was a lot of cool shots that were used for the action that you normally wouldn't see when you have a Godzilla fight scene, or we haven't seen a lot of Godzilla media. So it was cool seeing those shots incorporate into the fight. The end shot specifically, which I won't say right away, but the end shot as well was just whoa, that's cool. The thing though that I had a problem with specifically was some of the background shots didn't flow well together. That one minor criticism aside, this was really, really, really good. I quite enjoyed this, and I think that Tom deserves a heck of a pat on the back for doing it. Also, when it comes to the animated, I did make the little tagline at the bottom, which was an otherworldly threat descends upon the earth, and only a beast of legend possesses the power to stop it. Who will win this Clash of Titans? King of the Monsters or Queen of the Storm? The King and Queen notes are actually from Tom, but the rest I kind of threw in there, just to add a little bit of a description for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, fantastic. Also, I need to update the thing from author to creator, I assume, editor.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think...
Animator.
Right. Yeah. I think the technical terminology for the KWC Animated should be more like creator or creators if there are multiple people involved. So.
Wait, people make these?
Yeah.
I thought it was TK who made these.
Yeah. You didn't know these are procedurally generated?
Oh yeah, we got a battle next time.
The site made these.
But like I said already, nice return for Legion. Really nice return for her. Golly, we haven't seen her in forever. What was the last one?
I think it was. Was it Grisham?
It was one of Zero Fighter with Legion, wasn't it?
I think so.
I will check.
225. Yep, that was the last match we had her in. 225.
Holy shit!
So yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute.
We need more Legion matches.
Yep. I got one or two on hand, so hopefully we'll be seeing her pretty soon. Kind of soon. Hopefully soon.
Has
Next
anyone
match.
Legion Trilopod match?
Next match or bust.
Trilopod match? I think I got one or two. I'd have to check.
No, I mean like Legion versus Trilopod.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Let me do Legion vs. Balance already.
Legion vs. Balance has been done, yes. That was match. That was match of 59, if I remember right. Yes, 59.
Was that the one you all hated?
That was the one that kind of dragged on forever, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Nagoda said he was busy, so we'll kind of skip over him in favor of Fat Bacon Unicorn. Also, I wanted to say, welcome to this is a new member joining our team for shenanigans and stuff. Say hello to Fat Bacon Unicorn, everyone.
Goodbye.
No.
I see how it is.
Alright. But yeah, what'd you think of the match, man? Bacon?
Oh,
What was your
wait,
thoughts
what
on
match?
all
I
of the
just got
matches?
here.
Oh,
the
right.
animated one. Yeah.
The animated
All of the
one.
matches.
Oh, the animated one?
Yeah.
Best animated match.
Mhm.
Like, I enjoyed that the scenery, for the most part, looked like it was meant to be there. I don't remember who said it, but I remember someone was saying that it was they were in the banner, like the banner was moving.
Oh yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
It looks like a moving banner.
Yeah,
A banner in motion.
And I really like that little tease at the burning Godzilla. That was not really much to say. I really enjoyed it.
All right. Let's see. Let's go down. Birdman, what'd you think of the animated?
I didn't watch it.
Oh. Dang it.
Out of all of the stuff to watch, it's like the easiest to because it has like the shortest time, I would say.
The least amount of time you would actually have to put into to actually experience it. Because it's visual.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
Oh, darn you. Don't be the
Darn
new
it.
Joe. Anyway, Joe, what'd you think?
I will agree that it's probably the best KWC animated. I'll have to watch probably have to watch the other ones to make that choice, but this really does feel like what I really wanted out of the KWC animated.
Mhm.
It feels like a KWC match, but like in motion, visually. I will agree that with Greyshot that some of the shots aren't the best. You can kind of tell some things are in green screen. One thing I really liked was having the POV of a human. I thought that was really cool. I had something I wanted to say. Well, I can't remember that, but it feels kind of different from the other animated matches. Like I remember another Legendary Godzilla match, Legendary Godzilla versus Biollante, where they mostly just stand around and one of them hits each other occasionally.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
That one kind of sucked. But this was a lot better than that one. Yeah, not much else to say. I really enjoyed this one. Would like to see more like these, because this was awesome.
Hopefully from Tom's side we'll Tom has talked with us and I think he has more plans for doing more animated stuff, so hopefully you guys will be seeing more Tom quality animated matches, so because that's the stuff he really shines in, and so far it's been received really well, so thank goodness for that.
I can't wait to see 133 animated.
Oh no. I can't wait to see 150 animated. But yeah, no.
I can't see 100 animated.
Oh gosh.
He'll just remake all of his matches.
Oh gosh.
In animated form.
Oh no. Anyway, but yeah, Unicorn, since you are a little late to the party, did you read over matches 270 and 271?
Yes.
All right, give us your thoughts on those.
270 is my favorite bag. Not gonna.
Yes.
Like
You've just made Kaiju X's hit list.
Crap. Well, I like the brutality in it. How like the monsters were trying their best, but Bagan just one by one slaughtered most of the competition. And like when he's eating Ibara alive,
Oh.
that was sick.
I do admit I put that in just to see if they'd allow it.
Seems legit. Let's see.
But
was-
reading it over, it made it kind of creeped me out.
See, yeah, that I could see that happening, but I was kind of surprised that not that it's a complaint. I was just kind of surprised how Monster X won, and how it turned the tides very, very fast when he arrived. I don't know. I thought it was a pretty entertaining match. And as for 271, I liked it. How they hinted with, Mechagodzilla being kind of sentient. That was interesting. And a match that they used his teleportation power was cool for Zone Fighter through the televisions. I don't think that's been in a match. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think so. I'm pretty confident this is the first, 271's the first one to do that in any sort of capacity. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that both matches were pretty entertaining.
so
Not really much to say.
all right, cool. So, I think that covers our basis for the most recent KWC stuff. Once again, as a reminder, KWCE is currently on hiatus. However, there will be one match coming out next month. It won't be anything too crazy, but there will be one match coming out next month and another coming out near Christmas time. So, just so we can cap it off at a nice, sweet 50. But yeah, let's see. I think we got some... Yeah, we got some stuff going on here. I've recently had to do a little bit of touching up with the stats and whatnot. And looking in, I've discovered that Legion's powers have names. It's like, wow, really? That's a thing? But yeah, they do have.
I thought it was just a laser.
I thought it was a big old thing of electromagnetic laser. Who knew she had such things as red rod and microwave shell?
Oh, that just rolled for some good.
Red.
Japan.
Stop complaining for Charlie, you.
But yeah, no, I always wanted to just kind of, give some updates with some of the monsters. Some of it's superficial, others are more true to form, like the Toku Hero Trio, Zone Fighter, Ultraman, and Ultra 7. So, we got that going. But I think more importantly, what should be going over right now is something that's been of discussion for the last week or so. Maybe Greyshot, have you sent the thing over to Anthony?
I have not gotten any feedback on that yet.
Okay, no feedback on that yet? Alright.
No feedback. But the one thing I will say is, I guess in part, there's been some talk in regards to adding Pokemon.
Right. Alright, well...
And the one...
Yeah.
I don't want to catch them all.
I've noticed that there's been a lot of talk in regards to that, and the main my major counterpoint or my major thing would be, I think it's interesting that people want to add Pokemon to the KWC. I think that's that you have some creative talents, but from my point of view, I am probably not going to allow them in, mainly because they don't. Well, they are very distinctly they are not kaiju. There are kaiju in Pokemon, but not all Pokemon are kaiju. Whereas all kaiju are in Godzilla movies. Like, if that makes any sense, there's an easier time if you were like. Godzilla and all the characters within it are kaiju-like creatures in every single Godzilla movie. Whereas you can't. So if you were to take a Godzilla and put him into Pokemon, it'd be just as weird as putting a Pokemon, even though some are kaiju, into Godzilla. I think there's just a bit. I think it's just a bit of a difference on the characters. So for me personally, I am probably going to say, for those, I've saw a lot of talk in regards to like, oh yeah, add Rayquaza or something. Rayquaza is probably the one I would say that has the best shot, but even then, I would say no, because I don't want to bring in. I don't want that to be like the setting stone, and then it's like, well, you have Rayquaza, why don't you do the others? It's like, it's all about precedence, and I'd rather not set that precedent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of understandable. I get where you're coming from in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, pre-Detective Pikachu, because that was what kind of stirred a lot of this commotion up, was Detective Pikachu with its giant Torterra. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it turns out like giant Torterra won't be added, mostly because we have no idea what it does. It just kind of gets up and gets back, it just stands up and lies back down. That's literally all they do. So it's like, yeah, you can't really
They can do that.
I guess you could. They just get up and get down, create
matches.
earthquakes all day.
That's the whole match. Is just them making earthquakes.
But yeah, no. Yeah. But yeah, I think with the Pokemon, like, there was a poll created by Nathus, one of our members, with I did give him permission to say, hey, you can go ahead and make the poll if you want. But, it was mostly to gauge the people's, the community's, thoughts on it. And so far, we are coming pretty close. From the poll I'm seeing, is only kaiju-like ones, like Zekrom or Groudon or Rayquaza, or none of them get them out of here. Those are the two strong competing ones that I'm seeing.
I did see someone posted cringe in that thread. Saying Pokemon sucks.
Yeah.
That's quite the wrong opinion.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. Digimon all the way.
I have a counterpoint. Your mom sucks.
Anyway.
Yikes.
But yeah, no. So it's like, yeah, we'll probably won't be getting Pokemon the KWC. Mostly because, like, once you get one, there'll come the others. And it's just like, oh, no, not this. But speaking of which, there is something in the talks of the KWC. See if we can alter the rules just a tiny bit to where we can add Toho associated to that list. And I like Birdman was the one that kind of devised the meaning of the rule, which I really like. If Toho distributes a property, and that property interacts with, if characters from that property interact with characters of Toho, they are eligible. So say, Battle Soccer, for example, that features Ultraman, that features Kamen Rider, that features Gundam. With this rule set up, like, as far as I'm aware, Toho has not touched Kamen Rider nor Gundam. In those cases, and because they haven't touched those are properties that are off the table, even though they've appeared alongside Godzilla. So, because they have not been distributed by Toho. So, and that's what I kind of like about the rule. It leaves off a lot of the weird ones while still getting in the one people kind of been clamoring for. So I am hoping this is approved, because I think this will allow for some. Granted, like, a lot of it's still Ultra Monsters, and I know Greyshot has had we've made a stance concerning that in the past, but...
Yeah, I know you've said about that, but we still get, like, stuff, I know you've been wanting, like, the Evangelion.
Yeah. Right. And in addition, some of the Ultra Monsters in question are the more popular ones. Zeton, Bolton, Eleking, Belial, or...
Pigmon.
Yeah, I did actually discover another game with Ultra Monsters in it that Toho is technically associated with. It is kind of like a sequel to Battle Soccer.
Yeah.
And that also has some more candidates, I think, are more popular side.
Oh yeah, the baseball game.
Yeah, the baseball. There's only one on there I really think would be really popular. People might want adding.
Yeah. So those are all extra possibilities of what we could do with the monsters or how we can upgrade them. Like, I believe you had mentioned that Wyndham and Miklas.
Yeah, I mentioned. Yeah, they were in the baseball game, you said mentioned about putting them as like assists to Ultra 7.
Yes.
Which I mean, they basically were in the series. That's all they basically got it up to.
Right. So I don't think we don't need to add them as combatants. Just add them as assists.
Yeah, they could just be like snowballs, like Ultra 7. That like they can't. It was obviously they can't win matches on their own.
Yeah.
But,
So.
Speaking of those like sports games, there's a manga like side story where I don't remember the name of the game. It's an adaptation of one of them where it's like Gundam, Kamen Rider, and Ultraman being medieval. It's like a side scroller, but in the manga, Godzilla and a couple of Toho monsters are playing baseball with them before they go off to.
Right. This all feels like from the Monster Island Buddies video that was made a while back. So yeah, totally.
Recently.
Or yeah, recently in a relative sense.
But even on the note of Evangelion, like at most, I would say the one that we would do is obviously the actual the icon of the show, like the what's Eva 1. I honestly have not seen the show. Blasphemy, I know. It's the purple and green one.
Yeah,
one that can go berserk.
Ava 1.
Yeah.
Ava 1. Yes.
Yeah, Unit 01. That's the official title.
Yeah, Unit 01. That one would probably be at most the only one.
Right.
But again, we're kind of
waiting.
Yeah, I'm more going with like casual because the idea that we just combine units 00, 01, and 02 into one slot as like skins because it's basically all the same powers anyway. So
yeah. Outside of like some one or two unique things that 01 does, like the Awakening transformation from the Rebuild films. It's like other than that, like yeah, 01 like Unit 0, Unit 1, and Unit 2 are all really kind of the same, just different coat of paint, quite literally.
yeah.
So the Ultraman.
yeah, that's more debatable. I'm not going to go from here because I hate you.
Fuck you.
Really, Alex?
So, how forward of you?
What about any of the angels?
I think probably if we're going to add any, I'd say only Satchel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely like if we add any.
He's the most recognizable of the bunch.
Yeah, definitely.
One of them.
I don't get me wrong.
I mean, plus technically, if one of like say, he has appeared in like 2 Toho associated things, so that probably increases his chances.
Yeah. So and I'd even argue this being Toho associated, I think there is actually one monster in this roster that constitutes as Toho associated. And that is the Skullcrawler. He is my secret weapon.
Oh yeah, you've got a point with that. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't see why this wouldn't pass because it's like Skullcrawler's in the KWC, but Kong Skull Island was never produced nor distributed by Toho. He is there by merit of the MonsterVerse, which is more at this point Toho associated. So
I would make the argument though there's a difference between a multi-million-dollar movie that has released in theaters and garnered $500 million worldwide to a small battle soccer game only in Japan.
True.
And the fact that Battle Soccer is not having a sequel that stars Godzilla. Battle Soccer just had a cameo by the monster and had a small inclination by Toho. So it's not like Toho is not Battle Soccer. This wasn't like a spin-off like Tekken versus Street Fighter, and there's the Street Fighter series. I don't think Godzilla has a battle soccer
Right.
incarnation.
I mean, Godzilla only ever like appeared in 2 of the the Battle Soccer series is a series. It's similar to Super Smash Bros. In that sense, where it's a crossover series between Ultraman, Kamen Rider, and Gundam. But Godzilla appeared in 2 of them. So, but yeah, nevertheless, we have someone I do agree with the point of there being a difference between a multi-million-dollar movie, which is part of a greater universe, versus freaking Super Famicom game that's only ever been exclusive to Japan. There is a massive difference between the two. Don't get me wrong, but I think having some of that flexibility would be nice, especially if it means getting some of the more really popular dudes in there.
This just in. We lost the skull crawlers. The rights are now to the KWCE.
Yeah, imagine the album goes into video, then a day later he takes on the skull crawlers.
Oh no. That'd be terrible.
But the skull crawlers, well, now they're gone.
Now they're here, now they're gone. And now we have to scrap them from a match that we're currently looking over.
No, we'll take down the match currently in. You got to take down to 11 now.
Please say psych.
Just replace them with the Zillas.
Yeah, that's all we have to do. All we have to do is just replace them. It's just anyway.
Replace them with a whole bunch of Manillas.
Oh no.
But yeah, oh man. But yeah, that's currently something that's being negotiated right now. If we can get permission to be more flexible with it, and naturally, we're not going to be including everyone that qualifies as.
Yeah, obviously no. I wouldn't say. I definitely
right.
If that would be the case.
But I totally wouldn't mind being just a little bit flexible if it means getting some of these more popular dudes in the house. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with that said, let's see. Is there anything else on the table that needs to be discussed that I'm aware of? Or?
Off the top of my head, no.
Again, brief reminder, but we did add all the monsters about a month or 2 ago, which was Armor Titan Bagora and
Griffin.
Yeah, they're all in the KWC. We just don't. The idea was we noticed people were requesting they were requesting the monsters, but we weren't getting matches. So the idea is this is like a test phase. So we posted all these, so it's like, hey, if you want to use them, you can see what they are. You can see, what their description is, and we can use them in the KWC. And we are going to see if people use them or not.
Mm-hmm. So far, I believe Greyshot has. I know he's got a match with one of them. I know for a fact he's got a match with one of them because that was supposed to be 271, but didn't quite go through for some reason.
I wonder why.
Yeah, that was the one I kind of was like, oh, I have a match. Where is it? And I was like, oh, right, I just forgot to save it. Whoops.
But yeah, I think that's something of an experimental phase where it's like, okay, we got these guys readily available for KWC matches, and it's like we'll see how many matches we get of them, and we'll add a couple more along the way in this style, but we're also going to be saving monsters with matches as well. Still expect the ones that'll pop up out of nowhere, or the ones that'll be included eventually. So.
Eventually.
But yeah, the three monsters that haven't gotten matches yet, the Armor Titan, Bagor, and the Griffin. Griffin also marking our flexibility of adding scrap monsters to the KWC. Hooray for that. We are now taking a step in a new and unknown direction.
We've been doing that for a while, though. Bagan's a scrap monster, and he's been there since the beginning.
He uses the scrap design, but he's he's a video game character.
And now we can use the video game version.
Yeah, totally. yeah, the only reason we couldn't use the video game version before was just because there weren't any good models of it. But now there are, so not much of an issue anymore.
Yep.
But yeah, figured, yeah, all around, like, this is, yeah, we're definitely testing out new waters. Hopefully, you know, like, hopefully be throwing in some extra curveballs in the future, and then, yeah, we'll see where it goes.
I think it'll turn out. Yeah, again, there are plenty of new additions. We're gonna test and see, and again, we are going to be removing. So we are not accepting these monster matches anymore, which include, what's his face? God, I'm blanking on their names. Goliath, Daigoro. Those two are gonna be going. Mothra Hesai, King Ghidorah Hesai, and
That was it.
yeah,
Those four.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, currently we will no longer be well, for our people or regulars listening to this, it's probably old hat by this point, or those who are active part of the community. Yeah, Daigoro, Goliath, Heisei Mothra, and Heisei Ghidorah will be taking the lead. Say goodbye to them forever. But among the newcomers that hopefully will be joining will be Millennium Mothra. She will be taking the place of Heisei Mothra. In that, the character is going to get something of a soft reboot, because differences, like, you know, our stances concerning Heisei Mothra and her similarities to Mothra Leo. The idea is that Leo just does everything Mothra Heisei could do, but better. Whereas at least, like, Mothra Millennium could at least do a couple of her own things, and is a little bit more closer to, like, a universal Mothra, so...
Scrap monster.
So,
What about the scrap monster?
what about the what?
The scrap monster.
Yeah, scrap monsters. Yeah, we'll be talking about more of who we'll be able to add in the future and whatnot. But there are some in the plans, but we don't want to say who they are yet.
Is it Ghost Godzilla?
That one I can confirm will not be one of them, because we are not planning on adding any more Godzillas, even though I really wanted them to. But at the very least, Ghost Godzilla did at least help guide our decision making, in that a lot of people really voted for IDW Godzilla and Ghost Godzilla right behind Shin Godzilla. So it's like, okay, that gives us a very general idea of where we could take like new inclusions. So
Yep. Also, we should note that there are already a ton of monsters that we've added a ton of monsters this year, and probably there are definitely going to be a few more added. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Go buy the Blu-ray. So yeah, my big thing is I don't expect. I guess the better thing would be, just because all these monsters are getting in, that doesn't mean the other ones are not going to be used. Like, of course, but essentially with a lot of these new additions, we're doing little test runs, and if they don't work out, we can just retire them, and yeah, things will go well from there.
All right. So,
Are we getting Red Moon?
I'm gonna have to look over that and just want to make sure, but
No.
I wouldn't expect it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I would expect it, but yeah, the story translation is pretty neat, though.
I'm hearing yes.
That's what he's secretly saying, anyway.
Yeah, but no, and I will say in regards to some of these like monsters, there's been a lot of clamor for them, and yeah, just keep an eye out. If you're like, why are we adding all these monsters when we could be doing this? I could probably say that in 2020 we're not going to be adding any monsters, if maybe one at most. Because this year, I think we're going to be adding the most monsters since the inception of the KWC.
Right.
I think it's 9 of 9 we've got Major waiting on, isn't it? Am I thinking of
69?
we got? I think now. I heard the name 9 pick up somewhere. I don't know. I know we've got.
We've added Armor Titan, Bagora, Bulk Zardan. Who else?
Griffin.
Griffin, Colossal. Do we have the Titans this year?
I think it was last year,
Colossal
wasn't it?
Titan
Yeah.
was.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Colossal and Rogue Titan.
Two
I will
years ago.
find out. I can find
Right.
out.
Okay. Yeah, it was last year. So.
I think it was who we've added this year was. Let's see now.
Yeah, Griffin.
I think was it.
So we've added 5
was-
monsters at least
It was
this
the York
year.
Trio, was it?
And
Or
more
was it
to
last
come.
year?
Last year was the Yogg Trio.
All right, so I think it's only 4 this
yeah,
year.
that
and then-
was-
Oh no, we've got 5 more coming. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, so 5 and 5. So yeah, we'll have 10 new monsters in the KWC this year.
So yeah, we'll probably.
Now you understand why I'm retiring some.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we'll be holding off on some naturally, but yeah, we're gonna be holding off on retiring dudes. We're gonna bring in some dudes to kind of let's try and stretch the roster. Not like as big as it's weird for me to say as big as can be, but it's also just kind of like laying all the options out on the table. See who gets the hit, who bites, who gets the hit, and just kind of go from there. So.
Yep, pretty much.
So, let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, there's that. So yeah, there was the KWC Association thing. General, what to expect in the future, I suppose.
We haven't checked the most viewed matches in a while.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, sure thing. Greyshot, lay us up with them stats, baby.
Okay, I can pull them up in a moment. But yeah, keep in mind I'm gonna focus on the blog stuff. I'm gonna have to separate into 2 categories, which is blog and non-blog.
Yeah.
Because starting in May, they actually have completely different. They have completely different timetables and when they different naming categories. So for instance, all KWC matches have the -KWC, whereas the blog does not. Here, let's go with KWC matches so far this year. Going through 2019. And we'll go with, obviously, it is September and 21st. Okay, so throughout the year, when it comes to these matches, we'll just focus on 2019, not all time. Because actually, for all time, match 211 is actually getting up there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but in regards to just this year for the top 10 matches, number 1 we have 100. At number 2 we have match 249, Godzilla Hesai versus Godzilla Hesai and Godzilla Legendary versus King Ghidorah Hesai and King Ghidorah, Grand King Ghidorah. That's number 2. Number 3 is Organ Hell. Number 4 is Ultraman versus Kamacuras versus Gauss versus Kamunga.
Oh wow.
Number 5 is Batra and Megalon versus Zandora and Monster X. Number 6 is Bulk Zardan, Daigoro versus C-Rex versus Sandora. Number 7 is match 56, which is Monster X versus Everyone Fallout.
Baggin versus Everyone Fallout.
Baggin versus yeah. That'd be a way different match if that was the case. Number 8 is Baragon Showa versus Mothra Hesai. Number 9 is Mega Gears versus Zilla. And number 10 is number 10 is match 51, which is Bagan versus Everyone?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And those are like the biggest match of the year. Now, keep in mind, a lot of the traffic now is actually in the blog section. So if I were to switch over to that and go with the top matches of the KWC so far this year, number 1 is still Godzilla Legendary versus Baran versus Sanda. Number 2 is Godzilla Legendary versus Godzilla Hesai. Number 3 is Bemular versus Godzilla Legendary. Number 4 is Godzilla Legendary versus King Kong versus Mecha Kong Mechanic Kong versus Kiryu. That number 5 is King Kong versus Muto. Number 6 is Red King versus Skullcrawler. Yeah. Number 7 is Godzilla Legendary versus Kamacuras. Number 8 is Ultra 7 versus Zone Fighter. Number 9 is Bagan versus Team Exilians.
Nice.
And number 10 is Mothra Hesai versus Batra versus Gauss versus Rodan Hesai.
Huh.
So, honestly, pretty much on the point. The matches that don't get a lot of attention, it seems, are the obviously the non-Godzilla ones get a little bit less traffic than the ones that would feature Godzilla. But for the most part, it seems the Godzilla Legendary, because it was the one that kicked it off, a lot of these matches have continued to stay in the top have the top views.
Mm-hmm. Totally. But yeah, friggin' yeah, alright. It's good that we're getting some strong traffic with the blog format. I hope it's made life a little easier for those reading. Unfortunately, same cannot be said about the winner screen, where it basically has to become the memorial for giant matches.
Yeah.
But there's not much we can do about that because of limitations of the format, so like you do. But at least Greyshot can post the matches on a whim, at least.
Yeah, that's helped in so far. And again, we now have a release schedule where it's usually 10th, 20th, and 30th of every month, minus a day or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, it could be any KWC match, KWC or KWC Animated. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So, only exception to the rule is, like, monster-themed monsters.
No, very true.
Or it's more weekly.
Well, here, guys, I'll be back in just a second, but do you guys want to do another round? You got play.
Yeah, sure.
Battle.
Another round of KWC
Sure.
Battle? Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah, cool. In that case, why don't you guys pick the matches? We now have 271. So let's get that random number generator going. And Kaiju X, why don't you start us off?
All right, absolutely. I'll do that for you. Let's see. So minimum 1 to 271. Is that right? 271. So we're gonna hit. Our first one will be 177. That will be our first match to look over for the day. Which one's 177?
No, the one is.
Okay.
So find out if it's CRX inside of Godzilla.
Oh boy, that should be interesting. All right.
Yeah, that one.
Hitting up round two. Round 2. We have match 4.
Round 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Match 4. Gore.
Match what?
4. Gorosaurus versus Kumonga.
Oh shit! Oh fuck.
All right, hang on a second. Let me post. Yeah, hang on a second. This is.
Okay.
We got that one. Going for round 3.
I remember-
It's gonna be.
I remember the this in Baragon versus Ignorus is the King Ghidorah after party.
Oh yeah, that's right. The King Ghidorah after party continuity. That's funny. And the third one, we match 97. So these will be the 3 matches we'll be looking over for the day.
Match 97 is King Kong and Frankenstein versus Kagamakuras and Kumonga.
Yes.
Oh, I like this one.
Yeah.
Ooh, very nice.
So, with that said, yeah. First off, we'll have to say, let's see, which one is the best match of the bunch? We'll start from the top. With...
Best banner. Best banner.
Oh, best banner. Right. I'm not used to hosting this.
Gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it, Greyshot, for throwing this responsibility on me. Anyway, yeah, best banner. What do we got? 177, 4, or 97? We'll start from the top with Unicorn. Which one do you think is the best banner?
Let's see. I would have to go with 97. 97 is probably the best band. I like how they're kind of in the forest. The trees are covering like parts of like Kamacuras and Frankenstein. I just think it's a well-made banner.
Interesting. All right.
Okay. Simple but on the point.
Yeah. Greyshot, what'd you think of, or which one do you think is the best banner of the 3?
I would have to say that while I quite enjoy, I guess I'll go from the bottom. Gorosaurus or Kumonga is kind of plain. It's not too much detail there, but Christian does an adequate enough job in regards to demonstrating the monsters. This was the earliest of the KWC, so it totally makes sense. So that one's probably my in dead last. Really, it's down to King Kong and Frankenstein versus Kamacuras versus Kumonga, or my own banner. And personally, I would probably go with 177. I think the monsters fit in a little bit better. You can see C-Rex kind of blend in with the background a little bit. Cyber Godzilla, not as much. He looks a little like but I think Zone Fighter and C-Rex are the highlights, whereas as someone that knows and has done banners in regard to editing, I can see a lot more of how it doesn't fit with the other banner. It's still good. I think it just needs a little bit more like lighting and shading. So it's by a hair, but I got to go with 177.
All right. Let's see. I think I'll be 100% frank. I'm also going to say 177. I think there's a lot of granted, Cyber Godzilla does look a little weird. I think that's probably going to be the one off-putting thing I'll say, but generally speaking, I think the image has good composition. I think that Zone Fighter and C-Rex kind of stand out distinctly in the banner, and it's just a nice wide shot of all three. My biggest criticism with 97, besides some of the areas where it's a little they could have erased a little bit of the white from Kumonga. But that's not even the thing. It's the fact that it blends in. I have a very hard time seeing the other two Kamacuras, which I guess could be intentional since they camouflage, but it does seem a little confusing. It just seems like a little much is going on, and because of the much smaller banner size, it's kind of crunched. And heck, for the longest time, I thought that Frankenstein's hand had elongated into a Kamacuras claw, which is not the case. That is the Kamacuras claw. So it's
no, Frankenstein can shapeshift now.
Who does he think he is? Kumasugami? Anyway. But yeah, for all the praises I'll sing later of 97, spoilers, the banner is sadly probably not one of them, unfortunately. So, it's a little too cluttered for my own taste. But I will give kudos to Match 4. It is a little plain, but it's a little better blended, in my opinion. So, even if it is, super plain. But yeah, my vote will go to 177. And to speak on behalf of Nagoda over here, his vote will go to 97. Fits the best out of them, how the monsters fit well with the environment. So far, that is 97, 177, 177, 97. Joe, you're the tiebreaker. Which one do you go for?
I'm going for 97.
Alright.
Agreeing with Nagoda, and I really like how I just generally like how it looks. I like how all the monsters look, and how all the Kamacuras are surrounding Frankenstein. Kumonga's ready to fight King Kong, and one of the Kamacuras too. I think it looks really, really cool. I really like 177 too, but I think 97 just barely beats it out.
Alright. So, and with Birdman having left us...
Cyber Godzilla does look kind of crappy.
Yeah. But yeah, so far, sadly, Birdman looks like he has left, but I think it's because
I can't believe Birdman's fucking dead.
But yeah, no, I think it's because it's probably a little late for him, so can't be blamed. So yeah, that's a score to 170. The 97. I'm sorry, I almost flubbed there for a second. But yeah. So far, best banner goes to match 97. Now, best match. This should be interesting. Alright, we'll go from the top. Unicorn, 177, 4, or 97? Which one do you think?
That's actually a hard one. Probably 177. As a big continuous story, I like that. I just like the story in general since it continued from match to match. Let's see, what's in it? I thought that the combat pretty interesting. The heck was that? The combat was pretty entertaining, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I just genuinely enjoyed the match compared to the other two.
All right. Greyshot, which one do you think is best match, best written match?
While I like my own match, GojiraGuy vs. Kamunga is fun, though I don't like Kamunga. I didn't like Kamunga because I think the web thing is a little too overpowered, especially for a monster as powerful as Gorosaurus. For me, honestly, why I like this match, I think it sets up Hikaru being taken over. I actually think in regards for like story and like the two coming together, I actually like King Kong and Frankenstein versus Kamakras versus Kamunga because it has these two different monsters that kind of bond over their like a fight. And anytime you get to see Kamunga getting thrashed, is always a plus. So I'd probably lean with the slight edge to 97 for this one.
Gosh darn it, Greyshot, I don't mean to sound like I'm following your footsteps, but I would have to agree that I think the best written match of the bunches has to be 97. I think it does. I even in the committee read video that we did a long time back.
Hashtag bias.
No, I think this is one I did remember pretty distinctly along with match 4. But, like, yeah, 97 I remember, like, don't get me wrong, 177 is pretty solid, it's pretty good, and having the ongoing story helps in its favor. But I think 97 is one I'm going to be going for here, just because I like the way that Kong and Frankenstein interacted. I like the way they overcame their challenges, and there was a really creative use of the electricity in that match. That was like, that's... I'm more than confident there was, Yeah, there was a creative use of electricity in that match that I don't think we've quite seen in a KWC before. So, it was like, yeah, that was very... very well employed on part of Kenneth James. So, good job there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And I will speak on behalf of Nagoda. His vote will go for 177. So, he now changed
fucking line, Nagoda.
Oh, 97. Okay. Gosh darn it, Nagoda. So far that is 1 for 177. 3 for 97, and Joe, what will your vote go to?
I'm going with 97. I really like the fights between the Kamunga, like the Kamakras and King Kong and Frankenstein, and I like the interactions between King Kong and Frankenstein. It's probably one of my favorite dynamics in the KWC, and that's mostly why this is one of my favorite matches. I just think these two monsters coming together to fight other monsters is just really cool.
Alright.
So, who gets the edge?
Alright, and I think the overall winner, at least on the writing front, will have to go to the match 97, because that is a 4-1 slaughterdom. But, feel free to keep your opinion, mate. But with that said, we have one more sector to go over. This could be a make or break moment, or a complete draw across the board. Because so far we have 177 for round 1. We have 77 for round 2. And we'll just see where this has to go. So, round 3. You get all the monsters from their respective matches and pit them as a team to fight the other 3 matches. Who would hypothetically win? We have Kong, Frankenstein, a nice handful of Kamakras and a Kamunga, dealing with Gorosaurus and another Kamunga, having the versing up with Zone Fighter, C-Rex, and Cyber Godzilla. So, Unicorn, theoretically speaking, who would you think would win in this bout?
Well, the Kong team has better numbers, but Zone Fighter has slaughtered many kaiju. But I'm gonna have to go with team like Kong and Frankenstein. They just have more numbers. They have better teamwork because of Kong and Frankenstein together. Horde of Kamacuras and a Kumonga. I think that.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Greyshot, who do you think would win in this bout of power?
In this bout of power, I will have to give the edge to 177. C-Rex and Cyber Godzilla are two pretty strong powerhouses. Relatively speaking, when it comes to Tooth and Claw, I mean, C-Rex was able to thrash around Zilla pretty like evenly, and Cyber Godzilla has his own missiles and atomic breath. Coupled with the firepower of Zone Fighter, even with Kumonga being pretty powerful, and Kong and Frankenstein and it's the numbers aren't going to be enough. I feel with I think Zone Fighter, especially once he unleashes a meteor missile might, is just going to shred a line of monsters, and whoever's left standing is going to be probably beaten by the other two physically or from range. So my edge goes to the monsters of 177.
All right. Lightning. I feel unfortunate to say that I don't think match 4 would really last long in this bout. It was like, yeah, even if there was something a Kumonga could do, let alone two Kumongas given the circumstances, I don't think. So far we got one for 97, one for 177. All right. So far the circumstance, it's hard to say because match 97 definitely has the numbers thing going. 177 has the firepower thing going. I think part of it, I don't think there's so far any factor in this environment that allows for electricity on behalf of all combatants involved. So I think I'll probably go with 177 as well, just because firepower can mean a lot. Granted, experience and strategy and such help, but firepower can also take you a long way as well. So, and while the Kamacuras could be lethal and Kumonga could be a little bit of a trickster, it's that's pretty much nothing when Cyber Godzilla and C-Rex could provide, Cyber Godzilla and Zone Fighter could provide the artillery to fight from a distance. So I'm gonna go with 177, and Nagoda said 177 as well. So, Joe, who do you think would win?
Probably 177. But ironically, 97 because Kamacuras.
So I think that 177 I think distinctly wins round 3, which means 2 out of 3 of the sectors are won by 177. So congrats.
Didn't 97 win banner?
97 won writing. But 177 won round 1 and 3.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Whew. Well then, that was fun. Let's see. Is there... I don't think there's really anything else we need to cover, per se. I think we kind of said what we need to say.
And yeah, I think we got all the major topics and whatnot. So
right.
it's just I think next month, wink wink nudge nudge, will be a far more. Well, actually no. Sorry. Well, actually no. We'll have a bit more stuff to tease. Let's just say that October is going to be very exciting.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, October is going to be very exciting, very full of new things and a heck of promising. But yeah, October and November will provide us some very interesting things to talk about. That I can guarantee a lot. So, but yeah, is there any kaiju news coverage that we should probably be covering? we're not really meant for that, built for that, but I think it'd be nice to acknowledge it's like, oh, Godzilla vs. Kong or anything like that. It's like, I don't think there's anything.
Still don't have a trailer.
No trailer for that yet. Probably by October it probably will. Gosh darn it.
Probably, it'll be a month before the movie comes out.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. But yeah,
Nothing yet, but I think we'll get something eventually, and it'll probably be epic. Let's be honest. They're probably just holding off because maybe they're confirming the release date or there's something, and they don't want to start the marketing early if they don't have everything planned down yet.
yeah, fair enough.
Any news on the new Evangelion movie?
Nothing that I've heard of yet. I haven't really been keeping too heavy of tabs on that because I'm not really going to worry about it too much until. I'm not going to worry about it too much until it's actually released, or whenever I can access it and watch it. Speaking of which, I'm probably going to need to rewatch the rebuild films just to get back up to speed. So get caught up in that whirlwind of madness.
He said it didn't hold up as well as has everyone heard. So
Wait for.
Oh, what was it?
For Evangelion.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
The rebuild or the?
The rebuild.
No, just for the original show.
Oh yeah, I watched it for the first time not too long ago. I like it, but didn't hold up to what everyone was like. Oh, this is a masterpiece.
Right. Yeah. I think it's.
Oh.
Yeah, Evangelion, I feel it's a solid show all around, but I don't think it particularly it used to be like the biggest hype thing ever. But I think there's so many shows like it that have done things very differently that it's hard to really say the hold Evangelion to the same standard as it was before. I still recommend it, but it's not quite. Yeah, it doesn't quite hold up as well as you would want it to. But the rebuild films are like a fast forward at least the first two rebuild films are like a fast forward version of the original series. So it's like if you want a basic idea of what the series is about, then watch the first two rebuild films when you get a shot.
Because they solidify the plot a lot better.
Figured the rebuild, the two rebuild films, the first two, just kind of super condense everything of the from the TV series. It's super condensed, so it goes by pretty quick. But I will say that the TV series is still recommended viewing if you want to get to know the characters a little better.
Ah, gotcha. Well, here, I actually do have to go because I have a flight I'm about to catch.
All right.
So I will thank you for letting me join this episode, Kaiju X, and I'll see you on the next podcast.
All right. See ya, man.
See ya.
Adios.
What are you laughing at, Joe?
That video I sent.
Oh, jeez. Every single missile hit the target.
Do you know what would
it sounds familiar, right?
Oh, I haven't listened to it because, when I listen to something, it shows up on my recording feed, so I have to check it out afterward. Either that or just post it right here. I don't know.
I know we talked about it earlier, but do you know what would be probably the best part about having Ava 1 be in? Is we could have him fight Eren.
Heck yeah. Heck, you're going to, Ava versus Attack on Titan? Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Think about it. They're both tiny humans in some giant, kaiju thing.
Humanoid thing, yeah. Kyojins.
Yeah, humanoid. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. And both are technically, partially human in a way. So, spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely, that would definitely be a very fun fight to have. I would not mind writing that one. But we just gotta see what our hands dealt with. I'm almost certain, if 3.0 plus 1.0 is going to be the last Ava film, which would make sense in a weird way, I would say, realistically speaking, Eva 01 is going to do something. I mean, one does not simply shove her as a power core for a giant airship and not do anything with that. So I'm more than confident she's going to do something. I'm almost confident she's going to probably get a part and have her be included. So. So yeah, that's going to be that's going to be fun. But I also want to be lenient and just hear word to see just where we go from here. Because it is going to be. Yeah, this is some very interesting time for the KWC, because now we're getting properties we wouldn't have expected now showing up in these spots, and being a little bit more flexible with the rule of things. So this should be interesting. I really hope this takes some interesting form of life and just kind of heads in a new direction. So really looking forward to that.
I don't know if anyone's brought it up. Has anyone brought up, because Toho Associated, has anyone brought up like one Marvel representation from the Godzilla comics?
Oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, get you caught up to.
We can have Ned.
Oh gosh, yeah, getting caught up to speed with that. Unfortunately, there will be no plans on bringing in Marvel comics, partially because Greyshot's oddly paranoid about Disney coming after us, and it's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't particularly agree with that. I feel like we'd be perfectly fine getting at least one Marvel rep. I wouldn't push for all of them. I'd say Red Ronin would be our best.
Yeah, just Red Ronin.
Yeah. I mean, Red Ronin's also the best Jaeger SP we could get from, like, Pacific Rim Jaeger. Because it's like, It's got a lot of the same basic functions. Like, it's piloted through the mind. Except you don't need two pilots. You can go with one. Has a sword. Rocket boosters, generally humanoid shape, I think there was a piston punch in there somewhere, I might be wrong, but, like, a lot of, Red Ronin would be, like, the most ideal choice to represent the Marvel side, if I had to be perfectly honest. And I still want to push for him, but Greyshot's, like, really insistent on not doing that, and it's like, yeah, I cannot say I particularly agree with that particular decision making. That's because it is part of Godzilla's history, and though technically, it's like, even though like those characters do belong to Marvel technically, it's like they still appeared in Godzilla.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would be too much of a problem. I'd say so long as it's only the monsters. No Marvel characters or whatever. Maybe with the exception of Dr. Demonicus, since he got his start in the Godzilla comics. Let him be the exception of the rule, but other than that, leave out everyone else.
What about a representation for Hanna-Barbera?
Hanna-Barbera? I think that one's just simply a case of we haven't gotten...
Ganzuki.
Yeah, right. That one's just simply a case of we haven't gotten around to it yet. There's no reason that we... Like, granted, a lot of those monsters are a little on the uncreative side, so that's probably the reason why we haven't really pushed for any of them. But I would say, realistically speaking, I think it'll be a toss-up between Axor or Earth Eater. I think those are probably the two we'd probably sneak in. Because Earth Eater has a nice cult following of sorts. Yeah, like, when you think Hanna-Barbera Godzilla, I think Earth Eater comes to mind for a lot of people. But Axor, I think, thanks to Matt Frank's Godzilla Neo, has brought attention to that.
Plus, they're the two best looking.
Yeah, they really are the two best looking of the Hanna-Barbera monsters. So.
What's that sound?
That is Joe's fan. So,
well, fuck you, KWC.
It's not as loud.
My fan can talk if it wants to.
I mean, it's not as loud as it normally is, so it's fine.
My fan has a right to talk.
Well, it's being disruptive and rude.
Well, you're racist.
Wait a minute.
It is a black fan.
Yeah, just like how Greyshot's
And you're
racist towards
discriminating
Pokemon.
against it. I'm suing you.
Oh my gosh.
I also have a kitty.
Oh, kitty. Anyway, but yeah. And Nagoda has said, after long last, Kaiju X, you gotta be like an angel with cruel and merciless intent. I like that reference there, buddy. I like that reference. That said, it's gonna be hard to say. Like, it is, like I've said, this is gonna be an interesting future for the KWC moving forward because of all the new stuff Toho's doing and the, like, yeah, all that. And I'd really like to maximize what we can do with the KWC while still keeping to the basic credentials without going to KWCE, if you will.
Right.
So, yeah, I think, yeah, this should be interesting going forward. This should be very interesting. Yeah, I would like to get some extra representatives in, even if they are from obscure TV shows or whatever. I'm really hoping... Well, and granted, we also stated no more new TV kaiju, but I'm currently asking about that. Maybe include one or two more. Be a little flexible. Not for the immediate near future. Heavens no. But
Right.
I think for just down the line. Far down the line when we've grown to old, jaded, decrepit old men. Like, you know, have some options open. Bring exposure to a series that hasn't gotten any. So, and then make them, and have them fight against, yeah. So.
Like Green Man?
No Green Man. Keep those guys off the table. No Green Man, please.
Can we have Gore's source from Green Man?
Yeah, right.
And how amazing he looked?
Yeah, I know. It's not like they had him sitting there for a couple years and just like, oh, let's just use this shoddy costume that we haven't had much time to rebuild because of our low budget.
Let's use Manila from that series.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
yeah. That's a trip. No God of Anteater, gosh darn it. We're not about fun. We're not allowed to have fun here.
Yeah, I could tell by no Pokemon.
But yeah, figured, yeah, this should be, the future is going to be a very interesting place for the KWC. Very interesting. Of course, granted, if you're not a fan of our arbitrary rules, there's always the fanfiction section. Or the KWCE section. Either or.
Who gives a shit about the KWCE fan section?
Clearly the same people who gives a crap about freaking the fanfiction section. Anyway,
Exactly.
they want that exposure. They want that green. They want the fame, the power of a match that's only going to get like 5 views. Anyway,
Reality is often disappointing.
yes, it is. But yeah. Yeah, I think we gotta go to Unicorn. I guess. Do you have any questions concerning the KWC that I may or may not be able to answer?
Can you repeat that?
Okay.
You cut out for a second.
All right. Do you have any questions concerning the KWCE or KWC? KWC.
I'm pretty sure multiple people have touched on this, but GMK Ghidorah.
No.
That is sadly going to be a no. I actually had a recent discussion with Greyshot recently because it became a recent topic of discussion of GMK Ghidorah's inclusion. That is sadly going to be a massive no. So, but hey,
Well,
we tried.
Yeah, at least Kaiju War Chronicles Extended.
He's in there. He is definitely
Yeah.
he's in there. So it's like, yeah, feel expanded. But whatever.
Yeah.
Afraid, yeah, totally. Yeah, there's him. Yeah. GMK Ghidorah is sadly a no-go. Had a discussion recently, wants to do a match. He originally suggested that it's like, oh, maybe we could replace Grand King Ghidorah with, if Heisei's going to Heisei's going to be replaced by MonsterVerse Ghidorah when he comes up. So the idea, it's like, oh, maybe replace Grand King Ghidorah with Guardian Ghidorah. It's like Greyshot kind of wants to keep the symmetry going. Like, we have the Japanese Godzilla, we have the American Godzilla, we have the Japanese Space Ghidorah, we have the American Space Ghidorah. So he would much rather keep a sort of like a nice little parallel between the two.
Okay.
So Japanese Mothra and American Mothra, which should be a slightly more lenient with what we could do with her. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah.
With GMK Ghidorah, it would have been interesting. People could still do this in the other format, but it would have been interesting for like him and Anguirus to team up.
Yeah, totally.
Because they do not have a good history, so he would have been like, why are you helping me?
Yeah. Right. Anguirus stereotyping Ghidorah.
Yeah. He's a bit of a racist or
right. Yeah, totally. I could see that. Like, there's a lot of fun you can do with Guardian Ghidorah, and I think he's the one that can ooze the most potential out of. Plus, we also don't have enough of the Guardian, supernatural creatures. So I think one of them would be nice. At the very least, the one I'm gonna try and push for the future is trying to fuse Showa and Millennium Baragon together. I get they're of different origin, and I also get that Millennium Baragon has the soul thing going. But I do feel like, merging those two together, I think could have some benefits in the long run. At the very least, just more the better.
Right.
So.
You could use Rulers of Earth as your argument for the
future.
Right.
Because Toho didn't mind those being treated as skins. Like, Matt Frank, granted the version, I think the character of Baragon in that series fell more in line with the Showa one, kinda.
Yeah.
But he had the look of the GMK one. At least when Matt Frank was penning him, it changed the Showa under Jeff Zorno, so it's a little inconsistent. But yeah, definitely. It was like Toho themselves don't mind treating this version of the character as being one and the same. But that's also Toho and business decision versus fan fiction. It's like, whatever. I made it my point before. I'm gonna try and pester Greyshot about it until you just get what you want. I hope.
Right. Oh, Nagoda asked about Godman.
Godman's a no-go. He's a no-go. So, we don't really plan on including any more tokusatsu heroes, if that's what you're asking. None at all. No Mirror Man, no... I know he was joking, but... And yeah, Nagoda does make mention of 3 supernatural monsters, which I'm sure he's referring to Orchi, Ikusagami, and Kumasugami. That may become a 4th, eventually, in due time.
Gamera's and Gauss are kind of supernatural, but they all...
Gamera and Iris, I think, are much closer to supernatural. Gauss are a little bit more beastly.
Well, yeah, but they were, ancient Atlantean.
Yeah, like Atlantean creations, yeah. Mm-hmm. So. But yeah.
Wait, so that's a yes that I can use the Grand Caesars, yeah?
Yeah, you can use them as characters in matches. That's fine because they are Toho associated. It's not the first match we've gotten where it's not the first match where we've gotten some oddball Toho associated characters in here. So.
Like H-Man.
Yeah, like H-Man, or I think there was one of them that uses the ghost from Haunted School, I think it was called. I can't remember what the... It was a series of movies.
So since we can use those guys, and technically they had to go Tango in their series, so we can use those guys to pilot mechs. Does that mean we can also use the one with call character and the ring person?
Right. Yes. Sadako. Yeah, I think it's hard to say what you could really do with her, because like, what the heck would you do with her? How would she be involved in the match? I would say, I mean, unless you
just make it really story elements, and then
right, I guess so. But it's like, how would you connect with the kaiju stuff that's going on? It's like, what connects where? I just have a very hard time. Not so much that you can't do it. It's just I have a hard time seeing how it can connect.
For like one of the mech characters on their screens while they're fighting the kaiju. I know in the new movie, like, she appears on an airplane with all the TVs.
Yeah.
So you could have it so that where, like, say Mechagodzilla 2, for example.
Yeah.
The screens on the screens, it's the tape.
Yeah. Totally. I think you could probably do that.
I mean, technically, since it's supernatural in nature, you can use maybe like Orochi or like, what's his name?
Like Kusagami?
Kusagami. To like say they're trying to figure out why these people are coming back as ghosts or something.
Right. It really depends on how
or you can just have them on the pilot or something.
Oh, right. It would definitely have to be a more story-driven narrative for sure. I think so. Like I said, the only real stigma is like, you know, the monster naturally has to get the last kill. That's just naturally speaking. It's like, as long as the monster.
I just thought, as long as the monster gets the kill, right?
Yeah.
So say the ghost is killing the pilot, leaves the mech unguarded unless the monster killed the mech.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's perfect, because even though like Sadako would be involved in with defeating Mechagodzilla, she didn't destroy Mechagodzilla outright. She just killed the operators. So it's like, yeah, I think you could probably get away with that. It's still strange. It's still strange for me to think The Ring meets Godzilla. That is strange to me, but I can't let strangeness override my more, I guess, kind of like I won't want to say objective, but like, you know, that is possible, and I think long as it can be. Hey,
Kaiju X. No making fun of strange things. Your name literally translates to Strange Beast X.
But yeah, no. I'm prejudiced against strange things now. Anyway,
it's almost as that canceled Batman Godzilla movie.
Yeah. For all intents and purposes, don't expect Batman to appear in that either. Even though we'll be allowing scrap stuff, no Batman, no Marvel superheroes. End of story.
Right.
I was gonna mention Japanese Spider-Man.
Sorry, but I don't think Japanese.
Leopard on.
Yeah, I don't think Japanese Spider-Man was Toei, not Toho. So.
Yeah, I know.
I think the Leopardon, I think that was the name of the machine Japanese Spider-Man used. Leopardon, that.
I know it showed. Yeah, Leopardon. I know Leopardon showed up in the comics.
I think it's also in the KWCE as well. More than confident he's in there.
It is.
Yeah, you have added over there.
All right, someone go unleash the emissary of hell in the KWCE.
Godzilla Marvel versus Leopardon.
Hey! Oh, that'd be cool. That would actually be really cool. But yeah. Good stuff. With that said, I think we have enough coverage and material for the night. So thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you guys for next month's KWCC. I almost said KWCE. Gosh darn it. Alright. Take care, everyone.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. Welcome to the KWCC. Friggin' hope to see you in future ones, assuming that the schedule allows.
That's a late welcome, Kaiju X. You're only welcoming him at the very end of the thing?
Well, no, I welcomed him when he came in, but
Yeah.
But it's just to reiterate. Gosh darn it. Anyway, take care.
All right. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Don't get haunted.